the other ways of searching through the data are filtering and sorting. So in this case, we can see that we've got 3 fields showing SKU, name, and price, and we can filter and search by all of them. So sort. So let's try sorting. Let's try sorting by price. We click on the underlined name of the field. So you can see that that's sorted with the highest price at the top. Click again to change the direction. As you would expect, it works similar to most other systems. So now we've got the cheapest stuff at the top. And again, we can do that as much as we want. And we can do that by any field. So we can do it again by name. We can search by name, sort by name, ascending and descending, and the same with SKU, ascending and descending. So that's how you sort. Now, filtering is a little bit more intricate. It's this little filter icon here next to the name of the field. Now, not all fields are filterable. Some are, some aren't. In this case, they all are. So, and it depends on the type of the field as to how the filter is going to work. So let's take a name filter and let's start looking around for pasta, for example. So if we click on the filter, this area, the filter area, is what comes up. Now, there's a lot you can do with this filter area. We've just added one filter. Filters are stackable. You can add as many of them as you want. We're going to start with one filter. So let's say contains pasta to start with. Okay, nothing happens. Why does nothing happen? It's because you need to enable the filter. Okay, because we can have complex sets of filters, you can add them, build them up, and enable them and disable them. So if I enable this filter, it's going to filter down for everything with pasta. Okay, contains in this case. But we can change the filter to starts for a text filter. We can change it to starts with, ends with. So we can add as many filters as we want across the same field or different fields. So let's add another name filter. So we just click this again, and let's say contains red. And again, enable. And now it's just found us the red pasta. Obviously, we could have put this all in one filter, but for the sake of demo, that's done with 2 filters. So we can now disable all the filters, re-enable all the filters. So that's a quick way of turning them all off or all on. We could also hide them. So we could leave them in place, but hide them so we can get on with our work. Or we could clear them all and we can go back to the beginning, no filters. So let's try something else here. Let's do, let's search by black. So contains the word black. Okay. Enable the filter. Let's now look for, what could we look for? Shoes, maybe. So let's add this. Contains shoes. Enable the filter. And now we're just down to these black and gold court shoes. And now, just to show you that we could also combine this with the quick search if we wanted to. So if you look at the SKUs there, studded, for example. You see how it's combined the filters that we had with the quick search. So you can build up really complex scenarios here. If you've got a lot of products, obviously this is going to be really helpful. Let's clear that. Clear that. And just to show you that it's the same thing, we could add a filter here on SKU, contains studded, and that's going to do exactly the same thing that our quick search was doing. Disable all the filters, re-enable the filters. The and or is a more complex way of combining the filters. We won't go into that now, but it just allows you to do a little bit more complex logic. Okay, and like I say, if we hide them, they're still in effect, but they're just hidden out the way. And if we remove them, we completely remove them. So that's your basic searching and sorting. What are some other things we can do from the list view? So edit, this is a really, really powerful in-list editing. This is a way to make lots of changes very quickly. So you really need to understand how this works. Click on edit, and now we go into edit mode, list edit mode in this case. Okay, just ignore the colors for now. We'll come on to what that means in a minute. So if I wanted to quickly make some name changes to these products, so obviously the first thing I would probably do is filter down to the products that I'm interested in. So let's do that actually. So let's go back to view and let's filter down by pasta again. So now there's 4 products. So let's say that we'd accidentally misspelled pasta or something like that, and we want to change into lowercase or something that we wanted to change all products containing the word pasta. Well, we've searched out the words pasta. Now we've got 4 products. We're going to go into edit mode, and now we can, let's just add an A on the end just as a demo. Let's say we wanted to spell pasta like that. So we add an A on the end. Now it's been edited, so it's marked in orange. When I go out of this field, it's going to save. So it hasn't saved yet, but saving is automatic as soon as you finish. So as soon as I go on to the next one, that one's going to save. Okay, you can't really see it very well because of the red, but you'll see it now. So if I add A there, keep going A, you can see how quick this is. Okay. No need to automatically save. As soon as I leave the field, it's going to save. So that's a very quick way to edit. You can edit hundreds of products quickly like this. So there are times when you'll just want to do an export and a re-import, but there are also times when it's just quicker to do it in the list. When you've finished, you go back to view mode. And now you're back in view mode and you can't make any accidental edits. Now, let's just get rid of that. And we're done. Back to view mode. Quick way of editing, the quickest way of editing. Now let's look at these two symbols here next to the name of the entity. So for items, you'll see it's exactly the same for customer, for example. And there's some more actions here, but we'll come on to that in a minute. These are import and export buttons. So if I click this, I'm going to get a CSV export. You saw it, the browser download it there. That is going to be a CSV export of my data. And it's going to export all the fields. So it doesn't take any notice of the fields that are in your view. It will always export all the fields, but it will take notice of the filters. So in this case, this is going to be an export only of these 4 products. So if I clear the filters and I were to click export again, it would give me an export with all of the products. So it does look at the filters. So if you want to do an export, filter down to the data that you want to export first. The other button is the opposite, is the import. So to do a CSV import, you prepare the file, and there's separate tutorials on how to do that. You click here, and then you'll do a test before committing the changes to the database. And then when you're ready to go, you click this button here, and once you've selected a file, it will allow you to submit it, and that will import the data. Now, obviously, there's a ton to know about importing. It's a very powerful feature, but the basic thing you need to know is do an export first and use that as a template for the import, and then you'll have very, very few problems. That's the best way to do it. So, you'll filter down to 1 or 2 products just to get an idea of what the field should look like, and then you can do your re-import, and it's really easy to do it like that. Okay, a few other things on list views. So if we go to customer, for example, some of the list views have bulk actions available. So a bulk action is something that you can do, an action which you can do to multiple records at once. So in the case of customers, we have only some very simple ones, but let's see if we have any sales orders that we could show here. So for sales orders, we can prepare, print, email, send, or change stage. And depending on what you're looking at, so for example, if we went to pending commit, for example, or let's try and find another one that has something more. So dispatch. So here's a good example. So this is a list of orders that are pending dispatch, waiting to be sent out. So the logical bulk action that you would want to do on these orders all at the same time is to dispatch them. So you'd come into the list view, select your bulk action, which is dispatch in this case. And now as soon as you do that, you're going to get a few more bits and pieces on the screen. So in this case, it's going to tell you how many you've selected. So let's just select 2 or 3 at the top. It's going to say we've selected 3. We're going to choose carrier. So in this case, we'll send them with DHL. We'll send them on this date, 20th of the 9th. We'll send the automated email. And then we might also want to write the tracking code in for each of these. That's going to get attached. And then we would hit submit, and the bulk action would go ahead, and we'd be able to come back and see in reports the state of the bulk action. But in general, there are a lot of different records in the system that have this bulk action functionality, and that's how you do it. So you won't see any of this unless you've actually selected the bulk action. If I go to cancel bulk action, that's it. So again, I don't see anything until I actually click on it. Okay, so that's why you might not see anything there, because you actually haven't chosen a bulk action. So that's pretty much list views covered.